This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store. Always good to be joined with Jamie Conlan here in London. You've flown over, obviously, at the Wasserman offices with Harlem Eubank announcing his multi-fight deal. Before we do get into that, how's things, mate? How have you been? You've been busy at the moment, I've been seeing.
Yeah, been good. Bit of a mental week. Getting married at the end of the week, so coming over here is a tough one, but. Looking forward to kind of this relationship with Harlem and Wasserman, and seeing the long-term vision that they have for Harlem is fantastic, and now just let's see the marriage work together.
Our beef weren't too bad, was it? I saw all the photos and that. It looked like it was a bit of a mad one.
Okay. Leading. Loose lips sink ships, and yeah, but it was a great weekend. A great bunch of lads, a wide variety of lads, which I didn't think would all work together, but everyone got along brilliantly, and it was a fantastic weekend. It was one of the maddest weekends I've ever had in my life.
I can imagine. I can just picture what it would have been like. But yeah, obviously we are here at the Wasserman offices, and you've been working quite some time at Harlem, I guess in a managerial role for him, and so yeah, I guess now this is the next step for him to be with Wasserman. Good. I guess he's been with him for a while, so someone that you can trust. You feel?
Yeah, and they have. So the whole thing when we sat down was to focus on Harlem. Let's not focus on Harlem and Azim, Harlem and Conor Ben, Harlem and all these Dalton Smiths. Let's focus on Harlem Eubank. Let's focus on building Harlem Eubank, getting the best out of Harlem Eubank, and working with a promoter who's going to do that, who's going to both mentally as well as emotionally and career ways going to focus all their efforts to build Harlem Eubank, and that's what Wasserman had pitched. And I really liked the idea that they had put in play for us, and the long-term strategic plan that they had for him. It coincided with what I was saying prior to the team, to Charlie and Harlem, that this is what I think we need, and Wasserman also agreed on that, and they were happy to kind of work with us on our thought process of how to build Harlem to be the best out of Harlem, and to build them in commercially to be ready for them big fights as well.
Absolutely, and I know you just said there it's not about Harlem and Azim, it's the deal with, I guess, is just fully based on Harlem, but I did want to touch on that just now. And I guess for yourself, where you were sort of involved in negotiations and involved with what happened, I guess I'll give the floor to yourself to explain why, from the face-off where the fight obviously wasn't signed to now where they aren't fighting each other, like what was that period, I guess, of sort of 5 months where the fight obviously hasn't ended up happening at this moment in time?
It was a frustrating period, but initially the fight was due, I think, for late June, and then Adam picked up an injury to the ankle, and it was just a bit of a waiting game to see where the fight could fall. There was a few different dates thrown at us, and Harlem had to start to prepare for different dates, but it kind of just became stagnant, and Harlem's career was stalling, and that's kind of where we sat down as a team and said, right, we can't be just hanging our hat on this one fight. We need to really invest in the Harlem and really need to think about Harlem Eubank here and how to get the best of him. We've been out of the ring since late October of last year, and it was just growing and growing and growing, and just had to make the right decision, career-wise, for Harlem to pivot and to see what the open market looked like. And once we went to the open market, Wasserman was the key decision maker and the key to our decisions. They had agreed with our kind of plan for what we wanted to do, and had understood and empathised where we'd been for the past year. And because of the relationship Harlem had and we all have with Nissa and Kala, it was an easy fix and an easy one to get done. It was pretty quickly done and straight into here today for a warm-up fight hopefully before Christmas, and then back into big fights in Brighton, because I think we're really working on something in Brighton with Schwarzkopf late last year. There really was something there that could be built. There is a conveyor belt of talent in Brighton that will be thankful that Harlem is able to bring big nights there, because you were getting to see it, the Tommy Welches, the Diags, Howard Diags, and people like that, and just there was something growing there. It was a fantastic night that you felt you could really build off, and now it's just about rebuilding the commercial brand of Harlem. Long frustrating year, but also a learning year where he's took himself out to Miami. he's also learned frustrations of when your periodization for a camp has been going, then you have to take it off, and then you taper down, and you don't get a fight, you don't get the release, the kind of the angers and the stuff that you've learned. You have to kind of do it again and build it back up. So it was a big year for him outside of the ring, but I think he will learn a lot, as well as that he doesn't realise that he's learned, because he's had to deal with mental problems, mental battles, I'd say, where you're fighting or where you're not, what's going on, what the date, and then the preparation, say that, and then taking himself off, I think, was a big move for him and Charlie Beat. They go out, separate themselves from their home comforts, go to Miami, throw themselves in the deep end with some fantastic sparring, and really see how orders work, and try to learn a wee bits and pieces there. But yep, long, frustrating year, but I think a year that he'll be beneficial for.
When the news came out of the advanced negotiations and the face-off, it was timely, obviously, with Dalton Smith vacating, sort of Dalton Smith being made mandatory and Adam vacating his European title. And the narrative there for sort of Boxer and Benchelon was that, we're going to chase a bigger fight now in Harlem Eubank. Do you feel like during the whole negotiation periods at that time that Harlem Eubank was almost used as a bit of a smokescreen to get away from it?
Bits and pieces, yes, but also they did really want to do Harlem and Azim, and it ended up being a fight that we wanted to do. So from our side, we were very confident in Harlem beating Adam Azim, but I can't really speak on their behalf. From the outside, it did look like that. It did look like a pivot from them, and it was just funny how it was happening. Dalton Smith was actually in the ring with a Boxer and leaving the ring as Harlem and Adam were entering the ring, which a bit surreal when you think about it. But yeah, it's not really for me to make that call. From our side of things, it seemed like everyone was working and had the best interest of doing Harlem against Adam Azim, but we couldn't wait around any longer.
And when you look now at a future for Harlem, where he said he was pretty open to me that it's a welterweight move next, do you look at the likes of a Harry Scarf fight, or even bigger than that, maybe like a Conlan fight, who he's been pretty clear that he'd won? Is that sort of the aim, maybe even a guy like Harry Scarf?
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the natural progression should be to look at a British title fight. Harry Scarf and Liam Taylor looks to be fighting. I think it was ordered by the board to fight, and hopefully we can be in the mix early next year. And I think for Harlem's career and for his learning process and the development of his career, that should be the route that we go to. We look at the British scene, we look at Harry Scarf, we look at Liam Taylor, and then seeing how we move from there. But I think first and foremost he needs to find his feet at 147, have his first fight at 147, really get bedded into the weight, feel the height, feel the size, feel everything regarding that, and then try and push on from that. But I think British title fight early next year is the right move, because then you have a wee bit of clout, a wee bit of value to bring to the table for the bigger guys. I know the Eubank Ben thing has always been thrown around, and I think maybe Chris Jr. is a bit too big now for Conor Ben, whereas Harlem has now entered in his division, but doesn't have the commercial value or the name recognition to solely kind of justify the fight. So he needs to have some clout. He needs to bring something to the table. Winning the British title is a step in the right direction for that, because I think that is a fight that Conor Ben can use to get the Chris Eubank Jr. as well. He can use that I'll fight your cousin if I can't get you, and like, it's something that really can be built up. Family ties to a fight that always helps sell.
Absolutely, for sure. And I did want to just quickly move on. One fight I actually did want to talk to you about, and I think I've sort of asked it to yourself in previous interviews that we've done, but Eddie Hearn came out in an interview with IFL, and he said that Crocker Donovan's edging closer to a potential fight date. And for yourself being involved in Lewis Crocker, is there any truth to what Hearn is saying?
Yeah, we're looking at different options. I actually have to speak today with Frank Smith regarding that and seeing where we're at. But we're having talks in the last week about Crocker's next move. He's due out before Christmas. He's in preparation now with Billy Nelson in Glasgow, and we're just trying to get things in order. But I'm more than happy to take the Paddy Donovan fight next. There's also potential with the IBF situation. What's going to happen with Boots? Does he vacate because he's already beat his mandatory? If so, we could be next in line there, as I think we're number 4, and Conor Ben and Japanese guy just fought today. or the two in front who most likely won't be ready, and it could just fall perfectly for ourselves. So we're leaving the options open. But Paddy Donovan and Crocker is a massive fight for Ireland. It's a massive fight and probably needs to happen in Ireland. It can't really happen as a co-main event, a co-feature in England somewhere. So it's just about finding the right time where the venues all work for us. It's the right time for both teams, and I think it's just a fascinating fight. It's a fight that both lads are reveling in, and both lads are very confident in. And given after both their last performances, both probably are taking a wee bit of confidence from each fight. So it's a fight that I think, if we can do it, we'll hopefully do it next. But if this IBF situation shows itself up, that kind of jumps the queue, and we can look at that. But we're still not closed on it, but we're working towards it.
Final one from myself. I done an interview with your brother Mick, and he spoke about the next potential move for himself, and he spoke about he'll be training with Grant Smith now. Obviously that's a busy Steel City stable, but do you think that's the right move for him?
I do, yeah. I think it's a very young, hungry gym where someone like Michael needs. He likes others around him, like really pushing and driving, and everyone having the same mindset, same goal, wanting to be world champion, wanting to kind of make big fights and big moves. So it's a great gym to be in. It's got a wide mix of variety of fighters. It's got a mix of fighters in different stages of their careers, but it's got hungry fighters, and it's got a real good coaching system that I think works with Michael. Feet orientated, good movement, good punch selection, and Harry's developed his fighters, the likes of his son Dalton Smith, the likes of Sonny Edwards, the likes of Jay in Boston. So it's a good fit.
Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. As always, a real pleasure to speak to you. Always good to see you, mate. And I do appreciate your time, man. Thank you for that. Chip, man. Thanks for that. Of course, mate. I'm always there.
You're our new Boxing Social representative in Belfast, so it's good to have you back. Yeah.
I'll never turn that down, mate. I appreciate it, mate. Thank you. Cheers, man.